Good afternoon. My name is Ed Sachs, and I'm president of my collaborative team. Welcome to CollaborEAT Live. My collaborative team is a not-for-profit corporation. Our mission is to provide marketing and educational opportunities for our members in building more successful collaborative practices utilizing our digital and virtual marketing outlets. My collaborative team's live CollaborEAT series is a 10 to 15 minute video conversation on Facebook and YouTube, taking place every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. CollaborEAT Live provides digestible content to both professionals and the public on a variety of topics relating to the collaborative process. Our live episodes consist of a variety of topics driven by our followers and our members. Our topics range from ethical considerations, best practices, problem solving, marketing, and any specialized topics relating to the collaborative process. Whether you join us live or watch in your own free time, you can count on our weekly CollaborEAT Live to provide you with thought-provoking conversation and educational information about the collaborative process. Today, we are fortunate to have Brian Galbraith with us to talk about flat fee collaborative cases. Brian is the owner and founder of Galbraith Family Law Professional Corporation. He's known in the legal community for his commitment to efficiently practicing family law using technology and streamlining the divorce processes. He's also known for embracing both mediation and collaborative practice, two processes that efficiently help clients achieve their goals. Brian, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Great. Brian, you've put together a streamlined flat fee, I say that 3 times, a streamlined flat fee collaborative divorce process. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, what it came from is a desire to make the collaborative process more affordable for the middle class. And so what we decided was, first of all, we needed to make the fees certain. And so we came up with the idea of having a flat fee. But when you have a flat fee, you have to have a limited process. And so that's what we did, is we developed a process that has limits to it. It doesn't go on and on and on forever. And we carved out the elements that we thought were essential to the process, and so that we really tried to streamline it. So typical case, we'll only have 2 settlement meetings, full team settlement meetings. It's a full team. So we have a mental health professional who helps with the parenting plans and the emotional journey and the communication issues and so on. We have a financial professional who helps with the financial issues, support property issues, and each party has their own lawyer. But how we started is very different than the traditional collaborative process. We say, you know what, you need to sign that participation agreement, and then you need to go and start working with the neutrals. So we eliminated that very first meeting that we used to always have, and that has saved a lot of money. So the clients start working right away with the neutral financial professional, the neutral family professional, and Ed, I think of it as kind of a hybrid system, because at this point, it's kind of like mediation, because those neutrals are working with the clients to help them narrow the issues and resolve many of the issues. And then when the neutral narrowing phase is done, when the neutrals have done everything that they can to develop the parenting plan and collect all the data and resolve as many of the financial issues as possible, then we've narrowed it down to usually just maybe 1 or 2 issues. And that's when we come to the settlement meeting, and the lawyers are engaged, and we all come together, and that's where we do the magic of those settlement meetings, and have the other thing is we can be creative. We've had cases where we've said, this is complicated. We need 3 meetings. So we set the fixed fee to take into account we're going to have 3 meetings or 1. We've done it with cases. I think this is going to go smoothly. We're going to need only 1 settlement meeting, and we lower the fixed fee. And it's been working really well.
Brian, I know with your program, y'all have put together notebooks. How much work do the divorcing spouses have to do to make this process work?
Yeah, we give them a binder of information, and there's information about the interest-based process. There's information about developing parenting plans, about the disclosure that they need to, the financial disclosure that they need to do. So a key to it is the making sure the clients understand that they play a role in making this happen, and they've got homework, and they've got to do their work as much as possible to be responsible for helping come to a resolution.
Brian, in your process, the fixed fee is it a total fixed fee? Is it a fixed fee per professional? How does it get split up amongst the professionals, both the fee and the work?
Well, it's a each professional has a retainer with the clients, and so the fixed fee is usually we've only done it where the attorneys have the same fixed fee with each client, but it's not they're actually signing an agreement with each professional. So they actually sign an agreement with the family professional regarding fees and with the financial professional. And then each client retains their own attorney and pays the fee to them. So the fee is determined at the upfront. Once all of us have met with the clients, and we do a test called the Separation and Divorce Readiness Indicator, SDRI, which helps us determine the complexity of the case. And once we've done that, then we have a meeting and we say, what are we willing to do this case for? What do you think will work for fees? And that's when we set the fee at up front, and we commit to doing it for the flat fee. But our experience has been very good, Ed. We've in the early days, we ended up working for free because we weren't as efficient. But nowadays, most of the cases, we're actually making more money than we would have had we charged on an hourly basis. But the clients still like it because they know with certainty what the fees are up front.
Brian, what happens when you get into a case, you analyze it as, let's call it a 2-team meeting case, and after 2 team meetings, you're not done. What happens then?
Yeah, that's never happened yet, but what we anticipate that it will happen, and we anticipate that it will happen. And what we do is we say, okay, look, you paid a flat fee for this limited process. We didn't come to an agreement. What we think we should do is have another settlement meeting, and here are the additional fees. Or we think we need to bring in a mediator. Here are the additional fees. So you enter into a new agreement for any further steps going beyond the limits of that initial process that was set. So we haven't had a case like that. We've always been able to get it done within the parameters we initially set up. One thing that has happened is we've had cases where we've built a fee based on 3 settlement meetings, and we've only needed 2. But you know what? That's good for us as professionals. We didn't have that need for that 3rd meeting. But the clients don't complain either, Ed, because they're happy their case is settled. They don't want to come to another uncomfortable meeting and have if it's not necessary. So nobody complains. Everyone's super happy that the matter is resolved.
Do you work with different teams, or have you put together 1 or 2 teams that do this?
Well, I've worked with I don't know, maybe 3 different configurations of different professionals, and it's worked really well.
So what do you see as the biggest benefit to the professionals that get into this type of process?
Well, it's not charitable work. You're still making a living and making good money doing it. And what it does is it creates more opportunities for more cases because it's what I say the middle class can afford it. I had a conversation with a professional in New York City, and he said, my clients have a lot of money. They like they're a lot of hand holding. And I said, well, this is not the process for those clients. They can afford a $50,000 collaborative case, and don't propose this to them. This is for the normal person with a more modest income who you think they should be able to do it through the collaborative process, and you're going so you're increasing the type of clients that you can take on.
Brian, I've had the opportunity to work with the SDRI, which you mentioned briefly. I'd like to talk just a moment about it. I found it to be a great opportunity to really learn what could be the problems in a case. Tell us a little bit about the SDRI.
Yeah, sure. It's an online questionnaire that each client completes separately, and it asks questions, and I think it's 27 different categories, and it takes about 45 minutes for them to complete, and it's like supersizing your consultation. It's like really getting to know your client much better and understanding the dynamics of their relationship. So it goes into things like their financial acumen, their difference in parenting styles, level of trust, all these different aspects of their relationship, so that you have a better understanding of what's the couple that's coming before you, the family. And so it really is helpful, and it's not expensive. I think it's $45 Canadian, which is what, $5 American or something like that.
Well, I think for their longer version, it's $150, but we found it to be very worth every penny that was spent on that.
Yeah, about 150 for the complexity score, which includes the testing of both parties,
right.
And that's Canadian funds, so it's pretty modest.
Right.
And we use that. We get that done right up front before we set the price, because it gives us a sense of whether this is the right kind of a process for this family.
And do you find that it's an accurate, are you able, I know in one of the cases we used, and we went back in our debrief after the case was over and pulled the SDRI back up, and it was pretty on point.
Yeah.
It was amazing to look at and say, oh my goodness, they did have trouble in this area. And
exactly. No, I found it very helpful. And there can be some things that don't show up, that remain hidden, that people don't disclose in the SDRI or in your consultations. And a colleague of mine had a case like that where I can't remember what it was, but something huge was never disclosed, and the whole case blew up. But that can happen in collaborative cases or mediations, or it certainly happened in litigation all the time. So there's not only so much you can do, Ed.
And if I'm a professional that wants to get involved in fixed fee, how do I do it?
Well, it depends on where you are. You need some colleagues to play with, right? So recently, I'll tell you a story. Recently, I had two lawyers, a family, and a financial who had heard a presentation I'd done about 2 years ago about this process, and they finally found each other and a case that they thought was appropriate, and so they contacted me and with a whole bunch of questions about the process, and now they're doing it. So people are doing this all over the world. Really, the materials that we have put together have been translated into Italian, and they're for Italy, and into German for Switzerland, and into Chinese for the Hong Kong folks. And there's groups all over North America that are starting to use this. So I do a webinar for practice groups all the time. It's about an hour to an hour and a half. It's free. And I explain the process, and then we provide all of the documents that we've created so that practice groups have it available and can build teams and start doing it. It's really exciting.
Great. Brian, I really appreciate your giving us your time and telling us about the flat fee. Anybody that's interested in contacting Brian, his email address is brian at Galbraith Family Law, I believe it is. There it is, galbraithfamilylaw.com. Eric's scrolling it on the bottom of the screen. Again, Brian, thank you very much for being with us. We invite our listeners to join us every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And if you'd like to be a guest, email us at info@mycollaborativeteam.com or reach out to us on social media. If you've got a topic to talk about, we've got the place to talk about it. Brian, again, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for